There was a time I sat in a cubicle wondering if I was going to push paper, look for files, and be a court clerk my whole life. Wondering and trying to convince myself I liked it. No, it was the worst. Now I run my own web design studio from home on my own terms, building clean, high converting sites with my favorite tool of all time, Framer. Hey yo, what's going on guys? This is a very fast story about how I went from an office clerk downtown Austin to working from home in Houston, Texas, running my own agency. This channel is about that journey. Not the highlight reel, but the real process. Building a creative business from the ground up, learning in public. I'm not here to sell you any kind of dream. I'm not here to do anything crazy. I'm only here to show you what it's like to document this journey from starting off my own business in Framer as a solo agency. Okay, so yeah, just about to go on my run here, and it's a beautiful day. This is kind of the typical day that I like to come out here and hang out and get some air while I work. Scene 2. Okay, got a little notes that I took on my iPhone here. So anyway, like I was mentioning, it's a beautiful day. I'm about to go for a run. I need it. I'm doing more cardio, obviously, to get shredded out for the summertime. I just wanted to quickly go over, how I got here. I wanted to just quickly go out and talk about how I became a web designer and a Framer expert. So let me just take you back on the story really quickly. I promise you it's not going to be too long. But basically, I taught myself how to code originally. I wanted to become the best web developer ever. No, I didn't really want that. I was kind of just finding my way. I was bored in the cubicle, and it was just sucking my life away, working 8 to 5, wasting an hour, maybe an hour and a half to commute in and out, back from downtown Austin to the suburbs. It was miserable, low pay, under 32K. I mean, seriously. And let me preface the statement by saying this is 2012, so 32K in 2012. It's alright, I guess. The homes weren't that bad. I actually got my first home within that first year of graduating, so I mean, I was super lucky. I owned a place right before it took off in the suburbs of Kyle. But anyway, so back to the story. I taught myself how to code, right? And I wanted to build a gaming website so I can review games and show that gaming site off to other publishers and say that I did some work. So that was my in. It looked like a legitimate site. So I taught myself how to do that. I was already doing computer science in college. Python was the language that we learned, and then Dreamweaver, yuck. Ugh. Sick, I know. But I don't think anybody really knows in 2025 what Dreamweaver is. I don't know if they're teaching it. I hope they're not. But if they are, exit. Just go to a boot camp like I did. Which brings me to my next point. I went to a coding boot camp so I can go from 9 to 5, or 8 to 5 actually, and after work, get away, fly. Seriously, my video. So, go to work 8 to 5, right? And after 8 to 5, I would go straight into the bootcamp, which I learned how to peer program. I learned how to code on the whiteboard. I learned how to interview prep. I learned how to work with others, like I said, peer programming. And I built like 6 projects that I got to use to start applying for jobs. So I graduated from there, quickly got a job as a junior developer, web front end mostly, for a marketing firm called Simpler Trading, which we taught people how to trade, which was awesome. Still exists today and still dope. But anyway, I was using WordPress, PHP. I was trying to get my footing in. I was using HTML, CSS, of course, jQuery, which is today 2025 jQuery, yuck. But something in the back of my mind was just telling me this wasn't it. I mean, I loved it. I went from a 32 to 50K job. I thought I was set. I was like so happy. The quality of life was improved. I was one of those swanky little offices where we got to drink beer, all the snacks you can think of, play volleyball, get massages. It was so dope. I would highly recommend going that path if you want to go that path, working for a startup instead of a public sector. But anyway, so I just felt like eventually after 2 years of doing that, there was really nothing I could do to elevate myself, and I didn't really want to do WordPress. I hated it. I figured it was still cool. I was super grateful. I just didn't want to do it. I figured there was more to me. I kept watching YouTube videos. Again, this was about 2016, 17 2010-ish. I was watching YouTube videos, getting on Instagram, seeing people, this is before TikTok even, but I was watching people just, do cool things, and I'm still doing that today, where I'm watching people do cool things and I'm jealous of them, so I got somewhat of an imposter syndrome. But where was I? Let me just check my notes so I don't veer too far off the path, you know what I'm talking about? And so, yeah, here we go. I wanted to, design and create, so I taught myself to do that. The senior designer, she was more of a print, designing for like print work and stuff, and she just wasn't really like grasping stuff that I was taught and that I was teaching myself, so I kind of wanted to go that route. So I got my next job as a UX designer at Callaway, which is huge, like working working in North Austin, which is like my first time working for a huge agency, not an agency, actually just a huge enterprise company. So that's where I really learned how to become a true senior, was learning how to design, learning typography, learning color theory, learning how to wireframe. I taught myself how to use Figma because they were using Adobe, whatever it was. What is it? I don't know what it is, but they were using something else with Adobe, and I wanted to use Figma because it was just so easy. This was before auto layouts. Can you believe it? This was the early stages of Figma, so I was an early adopter. Anyway, I digress again. So, let me just fast forward from UX design. After I got promoted to a front-end developer using just primarily JavaScript, but like I said, I was kind of bored with coding and stuff. I wanted to do all design. So, I fell in love with Webflow, so I could do that as a freelancer. So anytime small businesses reached out to me, I would use the Webflow only, and I still use it today, and I love it. So right now, I'm currently working for a digital agency, working from home. It's pretty decent pay, but it pays the bills, and I'm outside right now recording this video because, I can get up, take a break, record a video, eat food, do laundry, do whatever I need to do, and still have time to do my job, because I can work at night, I can work in the morning, I can work out, I can come home and finish my work, I can play with the kids. Fell in love with Figma. I was dominating Figma. I loved it. I was like, Then there was a tool called Framer that I started to dabble in. I was like, oh, this is so tight. It's just like Figma, but I just couldn't grasp it, so I kind of just put it off. It was the same as Figma, but I just, coming from Webflow, I just couldn't grasp it. So I was like, I'm gonna move on from this and just keep doing Webflow. But this year, 2025, I decided I'm going to dive deep into Framer. It's still early. I want to become an expert and a partner, and that's what I did. So. Let me catch my breath. I just got downtown, Katie. Oh, let me catch my breath and I'll tell the rest of the story, I'm back. Alright. So, back to the story. What's this channel really about? So mainly what I have this thing going for is, it's for solo designers like me, freelancers, creative folks, anybody wanting to become a Framer expert, anybody wanting to dabble in web design, whether it be a no-code or... I'm primarily focused on no-code builders, but it's whatever. It's for all creatives, but mainly, like I said, for solo designers and my journey, and then primarily becoming a Framer partner. So I really did this year, like I mentioned, I got certified to be a Framer expert and Framer partner. So I'm currently building out 3 templates. One of them did not get approved yet. One of them is more simpler, and I'm gonna submit it today, finalizing that right now. More about my channel to avoid ranting like I always do. I'm building, about my studio, I'm currently building a niche studio that serves landscaping businesses, and I'm going to show every part of that journey. So from branding, positioning, landing clients, to design breakdowns, Framer builds, the process on how I build out components, from start to finish. This is where the creative side meets the business side. So I'm kind of going on that journey. It's kind of new to me, but I'm excited. I'll be dropping templates. Like I said, I'm building 3 right now. I'll be offering build tips, pricing breakdowns, the mistakes I've made, everything that I wish I knew, where I got my inspiration from. So if you're ready to be on a journey with me, come on. I also want to offer some more B-roll, like what I'm doing right now, to just, get away from all that mundaneness that you see on these other videos where they're just sitting at a desk and stuff. Kind of want to break away from that, so I'm making my channel a little bit different. Like I said, I want to incorporate more of my daily life as well, and it's been a dream of mine to kind of document that kind of thing. So stick with me and let's go.